Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Claire Wanjira Kimathi and this is an Hard Voices channel. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for tuning into another video. And today's topic is body shaming. Body shaming is one of the issues that affects youths in our current society. That's why I decided to do a topic on the same. And personally, this feels like something very relatable because I have been body shamed. And it's a long story, but now we are moving forward from it. Kindly, if you might hear some background noises, I live in such a noisy building, in a noisy place in general, but you'll have to forgive me. So, body shaming. What is body shaming? Well, body shaming is mocking or stigmatizing someone by making negative comments about how they look. Now, this can be in both ways, either fat shaming or skinny shaming. You're shaming somebody for how they look, whether it's if they're overweight or if they're underweight. You'll have to forgive me again, I say, for the background noises. So, back to what I was saying. Body shaming can either be fat shaming or skinny shaming, whereby an individual shames another person on how they look, depending on whether they're overweight or whether they're underweight. In most cases, overweight people are mostly judged because of how they look physically and hence termed fat shaming. This is because most people in our current society judge people according to how they look physically. And in this case, many people who will be judged physically are those who are not fitting into the beauty standard. I remember back in high school that personally I had an issue because every time I would try to be self-confident in my own skin, most people would constantly body shame me because of how they looked. And at the time, I wasn't knowing the term body positivity or body neutrality, and a lot had to impact on my body image. These three words will be coming across today are 1. Body image, 2. Body positivity, 3. Body neutrality. Let's dive in deep. So, body image is a combination of thoughts and feelings that you have about your body. The way you perceive yourself mentally is what we call body image. Body neutrality is an act of staying neutral when it comes to how you perceive yourself, whether it's physically or mentally. Body positivity, on the other hand, is a movement that accepts all body types, shapes and sizes and not conforming to one similar beauty standards. Where I come from, that is Kenya, we have a certain set of beauty standards, and so is the norm in different countries and even in different continents. What will be perceived as beautiful in Asia will not be perceived as beautiful in Western or European cultures, and what might be perceived beautiful in an African culture is not what is perceived beautiful in other parts of the globe. Now, back in high school, we had different cliques, and when we were growing up during like our adolescent period, we mostly compared ourselves to other people. We compared ourselves with people we see on magazines, people we see in movies, people we see like on a day-to-day basis while you're going to work, while you're going to school. I constantly compared myself with the people I normally saw in the magazines. These were models and prima ballerinas. Now, this symbol that girls have set for themselves, that is the standard of beauty in our lives, and that only can be called beautiful, is such a negative thing to put on oneself, because I believe everyone is fearfully and wonderfully created, and God himself said all this creation is beautiful and wonderful. Mind you, this is just for reference, nothing scientific about this. Don't take my advice as genuine scientific reason to help yourself or get what you need. If you feel in a case where you're being constantly body shamed and you're feeling very insecure in your own skin and cannot find a safe place to open up to someone to talk to, then consult a medical practitioner or someone who is a health expert who can help you in the same. What causes body shaming? Now, one of the reasons that I normally know causes body shaming must be social media influence. We all have these different ideas of what beauty is. We see people in magazines, we see people in TVs, we see people on newspapers, and all the way they look are different, and we compare ourselves to that because we feel like this person looking this way is beautiful, but me who looks this way doesn't feel beautiful or fit in the way that they are. This generalized persona we have of what beauty is set by the social media. Another reason that is caused by body shaming is a comparison culture, where I feel like most people compare themselves physically with how they look with people who look around them. Mind you, back when we were adolescents growing up, our image, our body image was mostly determined by the people we had around us. Our family, our friends, our teachers, our companions, our acquaintances, who would constantly make these comments about how we look, and then we would determine our worth or our body image through that. Yes, in most cases, if not all cases, many humans have been hurt or told something negative about themselves physically, which was not good at the time. Many people have a wounded ego, and this is so hurtful to say because most people have this negative energy that they put onto themselves, and whenever they come across someone else, they tend to project such a negative energy. Before I knew the term projection, I had a lot going on, and I had to focus so much on myself that I could find self-love and accept myself for how I look, how I feel. All these different things were being put into my mind, and they became so toxic that I had to stop listening to other people's opinions about me and finally accept myself for who I am. And that is a strong, beautiful lady. Although body shaming is very much evident in teens, it is also very much evident in adults today. If you are bullied back in high school or even in other places as a young teen, you normalize that in yourself, and it really gave you such negative self-image about yourself. The negative effects of body shaming include eating disorders. Eating disorders come in whereby you're constantly being judged about how you look physically, whether you're overweight or whether you're underweight, and tend to use that as an exercise to put yourself through a lot just because you look a certain way. Some of the eating disorders may include anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating. Some other negative effects of body shaming include body dysmorphic disorder, and body dysmorphia is whereby you constantly obsess over one feature of yourself. Last but not least, body positivity. Body positivity is a movement that was created to accept all body types for what they are and not what the general beauty standard is for different countries or for different places. A while back, I had a lot of negative thoughts about my body and my looks because of constantly being body shamed. But since I grew loving myself and telling myself all these positive comments, I learned to treat myself better, and I became body positive by accepting my body for what it is and not how it looks. I don't mind sharing. Cultivate self-love. Cultivating self-love is so good because you need to talk to yourself very positively, and you need to tell yourself such positive comments and disclaim the others. Forget about them. Tell yourself you're beautiful, tell yourself you're handsome, tell yourself you're attractive every day so that you keep moving. Number 2, replace negative self-talk with positive talk. As I said, internal talk to yourself is very key, because if you talk to yourself positively, you'll have something good to constantly think about. But if you talk to yourself negatively, you'll have a lot to think about, which might eventually affect your mental health. Number 3, manage your time spent on social media. This is very much key for youths, because I feel like we spend a lot of time on social media and not growing for ourselves. and building ourselves something better. Because if you spend less time on social media, you'll be less likely to compare yourself to all these people you see on your screen displays, all these people you see on your TikTok feeds, on your Instagram feeds, on your Facebook feeds, on all these different social platform apps that you might be seeing, and compare yourself with how they look. If you reduce screen time, less likely to compare yourself to others because of reducing the screen time. Number 4, make friends with food. Don't be so negative about yourself when it comes to food. Don't talk to food as something so negative to a point that you don't want to eat or you eat too much. Have a friendly relationship with food by taking healthy and nutritious foods that feed your soul and give positive and give nutrients to your body, instead of draining it by constantly eating junk foods or cutting out junk foods completely. Know how to moderate your relationship with food, and my advice to you is take healthy foods, healthy fulfilling foods that will leave you feeling satiety and feeling happy that you have consumed that food. Last but not least, reach out to someone you trust for guidance and support. This is very much key, because I feel like a lot of people are not willing to talk about their problems. They're not willing to come forward and talk about how they feel and how they are as a person. Because if you constantly focus on how people tell you you look and you are not opening these things up, bottling up your feelings is so negative. And you need to open up. You should open up to a person you feel comfortable to. Talk about your feelings, talk about how you're doing as a person, talk about how people are making you feel, and you might get the help that you truly need. Now, I have to apologize because I may have taken a lot of time to do this video, but as I promised, on a weekly basis. Now, that's all for today. Tell me your views on body shaming. Is it negative? Is it positive? Should we end body shaming and have a body positivity movement, or should we continue harming ourselves? Totally rhetorical. Work on yourself, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.